Welcome back to Desert Island Slabs, the hobby podcast where we delve deeper into the psyche of collecting. I take my favourite collectors, the collectors that have inspired me, the collectors that have inspired you, and I give them a task that they've never done before. They have to do some deep introspection and choose 8 items within their collection that they would save above all others, that they would take with them to a theoretical desert island. My guest this month is Damian Brown, a qualified physio and soccer player living in Adelaide, Australia. Damian is one of my absolute favourite people in the hobby and favourite collectors, with an incredible knowledge of Premier League sets of the 2000s, but his collecting spans far wider than that. So this is going to be another fantastic episode. And Damian, thank you so much for agreeing to come on. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. This is I've always been really into these type of podcasts, and to actually get invited to one is pretty cool. So thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, and sort of what, before we start on the specific items, and I guess way more events and things, like it's a real cascade every episode of Desert Island Slabs. Often we do the prep and then we don't know actually where the conversation's going to take us. And you know, I remember Evan Ferguson came up in the Faddy one and we had no intention of discussing Evan Ferguson. And what went through your mind with actually picking these items that you've chosen?
So I've obviously seen the prior 3 episodes. And then for me, it's because I've been collecting for so long, ever since I was a kid, really. So from maybe 8 years old to now. So it's been over 20 years. I thought 8 items, I could pick one item for that covers that length of time, really. So it's not 8 items that are the most valuable. It's really just going along as more of a story, really, than anything else. So, yeah. So the first item will be something I collected and got back when I was a kid, and then 8th item being a more recent purchase. So
yeah, no, I can't wait for it, and it's a perfect way to go into your first item, which is up there, and actually another one a bit later on, another set which we spoke before we started, but this set is up there as one of my favourite Premier League sets of all time. So shall we have a bit of a chat about your first item?
Yes, well, it's actually not a card or slab in particular, but it is a sealed packet. You can make it out there. Topps Premier Gold, 2003. So this is my first ever memory of being in the soccer card space. So this came out in 2003. I would have been 8 years old at the time. And essentially, at that point, I'd been collecting like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Star Wars, so the typical type of cards at the time. But this was my first experience getting into soccer. This was sold, so I live in, obviously, Adelaide, South Australia, and there is a few card shops that were around at the time. And I picked this one up. It would have cost me a few dollars, and yeah, just my earliest memory of actually ripping a packet and just loving the design of the cards. And so, as you can see there, that's Ljungberg and Fowler on the front. 8 cards per packet. This is obviously a sealed pack. And yeah, and this set in particular is really hard to come by in terms of these sealed packs, unlike some other Premier Gold sets, which are a lot easier to come by now. But yeah.
Yeah, I think
So, yeah.
the Premier Gold, there's that find in Thailand of the Merlin Premier Gold 97 that is basically, I've never seen anything quite like it. They must have had like airport hangers of it or something with what's happened there.
Yeah, in Thailand there was a huge warehouse find of Premier Gold 96, 97. Actually got an empty box there.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And then the season after, 97, 98, huge amount of boxes, cases full of those stuff. But yeah, in stark contrast, this one, very little sealed packs you can find. But with these packs, I actually did find a few sealed packs, I think a couple years ago, and managed to pack Paul, arguably the major card from the collection, and it's a rookie, and got a grade SGC 9. So that is, as you can see, the design there. Rookie card for Wayne Rooney, and as the back as well. Big fan of the design of these cards. Real sort of classic look.
Yeah, it's I think the Rooney card, and I think in collecting a lot, we'll see. I think we'll speak a bit about the rookie card thing a bit later on, actually, with another item when you discuss it. But the Rooney, that is my favourite Rooney item, and I love Wazza. Obviously, as a Manchester United fan, I love. Actually, no, that's not true. I prefer the remember the name ticket, if I'm completely honest. But as a card, it's just fantastic because it's such a nice card, and it's the design as well, like you say, and also the image of Waz. Yeah, if you just bring it up again, he looks like a man in a boy's body, but he's also got this really baggy shirt on as well, so he also looks like a boy simultaneously. Obviously, the season that he scored that incredible goal against Arsenal, and just an absolute phenomenon. And as a sort of lead, I know it's the base card within the set, but as this, sometimes a set is elevated a bit because it has a really important card. And I'm not necessarily talking in terms of value, because I don't think the Rooney is that expensive, actually, especially now since it's come down. But it's such an important card for people of our, like, millennials of our age, like the Wazza rookie. And and it's not just the base cards, actually, because you also have you've also got all you've got the whole set, but you've got the inserts as well, as something which you quite enjoy.
Yes, so I've actually got I don't have the official binder, but this is my sort of custom-made binder, really. But what I really love about this set, and it actually says on the front, there are actually autographs and patch cards that you can get from this product. So there could well be one in this steel pack. 8 cards per pack, but the inserts is what I really love about this collection. This is actually the 10th year anniversary of the Premier League. So they sort of pay homage to some of the past greats in terms of player of the years from previous seasons. So there's an example there. Dennis Bergkamp winning the player of the year in '98. And they actually show the young player of the year as well. That's Owen there. So they, highlight the player of the years for the previous 10 years. They also look at some of the top goal scorers, the top appearance makers. There's some quirky ones like fastest goal scored. I think Ledley King's got a card there.
Ledley was the old fastest goal scorer, but now it's Shane Long, and that was a ticket which I obviously go for these slightly silly tickets. So the Shane Long is now the fastest goal, and he's got a tops now. So I love the pairing of the ticket of that thing with the tops now card. But because also, actually, what I wanted to ask you, because you have a fantastic custom card based on this design.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there it is.
It's just incredible. It's it's just amazing.
Pretty bang on to what the cards actually look like. But this is a John Terry Player of the Year 2005. So, and in fact, a young Player of the Year, Rooney. So this was done by Kai Coben, who's from Australia and does an absolute banging job of these custom cards.
I mean, card. Yeah, I saw it actually because I think we just started speaking because you'd messaged me about some things, and then and then you posted it maybe about a month after, And I was like, that is honestly like the best custom. And I'm not talking badly about other people that make custom cards. There are some amazing, but that is the best custom card I have ever seen in my life. It's such a faithful representation. It's so good. And then as a result of that, I got my ballot. I think also with Desert Island Slabs, I'm going to find a way to get Mario Balotelli into every single episode. And I got my Mario Balotelli Kaboom made from his Hulk celebration, basically because you put me in touch with him. And it's that's such, and that also shows you that a lot of collecting is the cards, sort of the pre-made sets, but it can set off that like cascade in our own minds of things that we want to do and how we can put things in. And I absolutely love that card, and I absolutely love your custom card. Also, you mentioned about the other cards, the autograph cards as well, the Rising Stars, aren't they?
Yes. I don't have one on me at the moment, but there's actually I do have a Carlton Cole autograph card from this collection, that being the first Chelsea autograph card. But this is the second year that they did autos. We'll get into another item later on, which was the first year.
Yeah, because I think as well, when I was just looking at the checklist for the autograph, I think all the Rising Stars, none of them are in the base. So I think maybe that didn't, because it's one of those. And I remember seeing I think it was Nikita Cards that did a mock-up of like an Mbappe red chrome card. And I have a similar thought with Nick Chadwick, fine. But just imagine if it had been a Wazza. Just imagine if that had been a Wazza.
I think there is an Evertonian, I can't remember his name, who's in the auto checklist. Oh, that's him. Oh,
yeah, that's him. That's him. And it's just like I guess maybe they thought about it, but just a Rooney on card rookie would have just been like crazy. One of the best cards. It would literally be like up there with one of the best cards I think ever made. It would have been so good. But it's the base card is really nice as well. And like I said, it's such a good looking set. And
one thing about this is the rookie on the back. It actually doesn't say anything about his place of birth or height or weight, so they don't know his details there. Just showing how much of a rookie this really was.
No, exactly. It was so unknown still, and I'm just looking at my one here, just reading, because it says it's interesting as well, because and like you say, I know there's a bit of a lag with printing, because it also says like no, it's just that it's got his debut, but then it also says career league appearances and goals. I mean, I guess they're doing it retrospectively, and they also say Rooney was a star of Everton's FA Youth Cup run last season and has made speedy progress to the first team squad during the summer. But it doesn't say anything about his Arsenal goal. So I feel like they would have mentioned the Remember the Name goal if they had at least started the process of making the set. They would probably mention that goal, one would have thought. But I don't know.
Can you remember what month that was that he scored that?
It was October 2002.
Yeah.
So I guess they probably have to finalise all the cards and descriptions before they go to the printers. But it's so cool to have that Rooney card after he made his debut against Spurs, but then even before the Arsenal goal, which is obviously the thing that just like catapulted him onto actually I don't know what it was like in Australia, but actually the front pages as well, actually, with Rooney. He was the closest thing to David Beckham in many ways in this country, in terms of maybe not quite as aesthetic on the eye, maybe, but but in terms of the phenomenon aspects of it, there was only one that Rooney just absolutely just took this country by storm here. It was all Rooney.
Euro 2004 as well, man. He lit that up. He was so good. Only he didn't get injured.
Yeah, if he hadn't have had the metatarsal injury in Euro 2004, we may well have gone on to win it. And I think Wazza said in an interview rather that he thought he was the best player in the world at that point in Euro 2004, and that could be construed as like maybe quite a conceited thing to say, but no one thinks that's a ridiculous thing for him to say because he was that good. And he was so... Waz is such an interesting player. He's possibly like the most interesting player to study because a player that had such a successful career, Manchester United record goal scorer, won everything at club level, but still there's this thing of unfulfilled potential. Shows you like how good he was on both sides, how good he was, but also his unfulfilled sort of element. He's such an interesting player to study. Just what a player, and one of my unoriginal top 10 players of all time. Just
definitely.
Yeah,
great player.
Just brilliant. And I think sometimes as well, I think because he was such a team player, it was a little bit to the detriment of him, and he liked doing everything. That he never really focused, because I think he said as well that he didn't really like playing up front, even though he had his as the focal striker, even though his two most successful seasons, 2010, 09-10 and 11-12, where he was actually the focal striker. He said he liked getting stuck in a bit more.
And he just wanted to get into the ball, really. I think he drifted wide, and like Ferguson just wanted like a Van Nistelrooy type of striker, stay in the box, poach those goals, So.
He's just such affection for Rooney, and I also think he's actually really funny as well. He's actually got a really like amusing, dry sense of humour. Which he's not given credit for, because he's actually quite clever with some of his humour. He's quite funny. But just Waz. I love him, and just a fantastic team player as well. And the next player, also another Premier League legend.
Yes.
Another fantastic team player. So should we have a chat about your next item?
Okay. So that first item was sort of 2003. I'd been about 8 years old buying that first pack, and then it would be maybe 1 or 2 years later, so about 2004-05. So I'd been about 10 at this time. Been on a few holidays. I think the number one destination for family holidays in Australia at the time, and probably still is now, was the Gold Coast, Queensland. Lots of theme parks. And it was there that there was actually a card shop. I was flicking through some albums and found a very young-looking Frank Lampard card. And just thought, wow, how cool is that? At the time, Lampard in 2004-05, this was Chelsea's first Premier League title win. Lampard was second in Ballon d'Or, only to Ronaldo, so he had an amazing season that year. But this young, fresh-faced Lampard in a West Ham kit, which now is considered one of his rookie cards, and it's in a... So this particular example here, I graded myself, bought the West Ham team lot, graded myself with SGC, and got a really nice grade, 9.5. So that is a really nice, high graded copy of a Frank Lampard rookie card.
Such a nice card.
And you can probably see that this is obviously from Merlin Premier Gold 1999 for the 98-99 season. But it has that same design as what we've seen recently with the Merlin Calcio 99 cards. Same design. They're really popular at the moment. Obviously with the Serie A having lots of legends in that product. But yeah, beautiful looking Lampard. high grade, and yeah, I just love the simplicity of the card. I love the gold embossed name and logo on the top left. And this obviously, I consider this to be his rookie card. He does have a couple of earlier stickers, which I'll show, but yeah, really, really nice item, that one.
And is it now? This may be a difficult question because you mentioned he's got the Premier Gold 98 sticker and he's got the PFA Super Players as well. Is it the card that you gravitate towards? And if so, why is it the card over the sticker? What in your mind?
Yeah, I think when actually in terms of cards, he does have an earlier card, the Pro Match releases. You know, the caricature-looking type of cards, which are not the most high appealing cards. So I don't really count that. I do prefer the Premier League licensed products. But yeah, here are the two stickers you mentioned. We've got an 8.5 in the Merlin Premier League sticker, and then the Super Players. I've actually got a 9.5 on that one.
Yeah.
So they're obviously two stickers from the previous season, but I do gravitate towards the cards more so. I think living in Australia, cards were really the only sort of thing that you could purchase, unlike in the UK, where I would say that probably stickers are easier to attain. So yeah, I've just always looked at card sets more so than stickers, really. I do collect the stickers for the World Cup and Euros, but in terms of Premier League, it's just mainly been cards. But yeah.
And yeah, because like you say, I mean, the cards were there, like Premier Gold 97 were there, but the stickers for us, the Merlin stickers, they were literally like, they were also in the other places in the shop, but they were also like on the counter, on the till, like when you were going to pay, and like any news agents, especially sort of Premier League 96 to probably 99, they were always there like that. And that's reflected in how available those sets are. Those 4 sets, they're really, really available. And but I as an aesthetic thing, and I'm not just saying it to be sycophantic, I prefer the cards as well. I prefer the cards. I think there's something a bit more about the cards. You have a bit more description, because you also, the back is also a very interesting design. It's really
cool
nice.
looking back. Yeah. I mean, you just don't see that nowadays in sets. The attention to detail, the stats they've got on there. Just really cool looking design. A lot of sets nowadays, you just see a big club badge and maybe a bit of a write-up, but you know, this is where it's at.
Yeah, and it's again, like I don't think I'm going to do it with every single item, but like you say, it's interesting how different sets all of a sudden get awareness, and whether there's something nefarious going on or not, I don't know, and I'm not going to speculate. But how good would it be if there were numbered cards in that set? It would be like,
or even just like different parallels. The ruby parallel.
It would be just like getting like the guy we're going to speak last would be the one actually my mind goes to in that set, just for the significance of the year. But just like a numbered parallel of like a Lampard rookie or like a Beckham or something would just be so nice. But like Nick Chadwick ruining our Rooney. Merlin's publishers have ruined our dreams with that. But yeah, another amazing item. And Frank Lampard was also part of an England team that underwhelmed at a World Cup that always gone about paper, this England team. And that segues quite well into your next item.
Yes. So it is, for me, like, in terms of collecting, I know a lot of people nowadays are more sort of focused on the big hits and getting maybe certain players or certain teams, but I've always been a bit of a set collector. And for me, this was actually one of the very first sets that I collected back in 2006. So I would have been 11 at this point in time. And this set was available in news agencies. So you can get the binder, you can get the sealed packets, and yeah, just a complete binder here of World Cup 2006 Germany, which I know that Champ had a binder on his episode, so it makes a good fan for the old island there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, amazing binder, really. And obviously got real popular with obviously the Messi and Ronaldo cards being their first World Cup cards. But if I can maybe just flick to those. But yeah, an amazing set. Really love the metallized cards there. I think Crespo has one there.
Yeah, Crespo.
See Messi there.
Yeah.
Of course, a couple of Australians, Kuhl and Viduka.
And your Aussie mates there.
Yeah. But yeah, amazing set. It's a pity that England weren't licensed, so they've of course just got the white shirt and red shorts.
The pajama cards.
Yeah. But at least they're in the set because weirdly Spain aren't actually in the set, and they completely not in the set. They do have a team. Their team logo is on the collection there, but yeah, no player cards for them, which is a shame.
Was that just a license? Because I've obviously looked the England, I know, and things, because Merlin had the license for England and released their own. Like in Merlin England 2006, actually quite a nice sticker album. But the Spain, was that a licensing thing as well, or what was the reason?
I'd say so. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, they were in 2010. So yeah, Topps and Merlin had the England license for a good while, from 2002 through to 2014 World Cup Prism. England didn't have any license, so yeah, up until 2014, there was no license for England, and even before then, Upper Deck had the license. So yeah, I mean, a really great binder, this one. And this is probably the first binder I ever collected because a lot of binders weren't really for sale here in Australia. They were too expensive to ship out from the UK to Australia here. So yeah, really great collection.
Yeah, I think with Australia and England both ways, we have quite extortionate import. We have like the postage is reasonably expensive in itself, but then the import is also really quite expensive. And it's interesting because, like you said, and I'm not going to say that anyone is an inorganic collector, because I would be classed as an inorganic collector because I got back into things around 2020, basically. But if there's an organic collector, it is you, because this was before any real spotlight on sets. And like you say, you were you were like always prioritizing the collecting of the sets as well. And what was it? I guess we spoke a bit about the Lampard, but I'm a bit more interested as well into why because you. What was it about? What was it? Because from a very young, did you have like friends collecting cards as well, or what was it that brought you in?
There was literally no sort of friends or community at all in Australia in regards to collecting soccer cards. It's mainly through my dad, really. He was born in England. He collected a lot of cards in the sort of late 60s, early 70s. So yeah, I think that sort of collecting bug really sort of transferred to me, really.
Yeah, and then you were just doing it basically, sort of with your dad as well, but like
Yeah.
independently just researching these sets? Because what was the sort of information like around the time? Was Cartophilic and things running as well then, or what?
Code's been around for a while. It probably wasn't active at that point in time. But there wasn't a hell of a lot of information on the internet as such. But I mean, it's pretty simple. There's a binder here. There's a checklist full of cards to collect, and you just go out and get them all. I've actually marked my checklist cards there, so I would take these two into my local card shop. They would have binders full of base cards, 50 cents each, and yeah, I'll just mark off the ones I needed and complete a set. Really, there wasn't a lot of research needed, to be honest, when you've got checklist cards to work off. Really,
I guess all the all the 312,000 types of parallels weren't really a thing back then either.
yeah,
But bubbles and sparks and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's just this is why I wanted you on Desert Island Slabs as well, because it's so like ingrained in you. I think was that fair to say? Just ingrained, like collecting.
Oh, definitely, for sure. I mean, like you mentioned about the parallels, like I enjoy, like we'll actually get to a parallel card in a moment, but yeah, I definitely prefer just like the original type of way of collecting, and that it's collecting sets, and not getting too drawn into, gold bubbles and green sparkles and that sort of thing. Like it's, yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually the origins of your collecting lie in your father, who is English. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. He was born in Huddersfield, so that's one of the reasons why I support Huddersfield as well as Chelsea.
Yeah, and the next item, and it's amazing how because we didn't do anything with your order, because you just seem to. Your order was perfect because it's a perfect go into the next item, who is for me the greatest English player ever. It's not even up for debate, actually, for me. But should we talk about your next item?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I think I sent you a photo. So that was actually of my, I think it was 11th birthday.
Yes.
And then there's a frame, a football shirt frame, with some football shirts there, but also a collection of cards on the bottom. And I was gifted, so yeah, in around 2007, 2008, some Mexico 70 Panini World Cup 1970 cards, and one of them being of the England great Bobby Moore. So England captain for that 1966 World Cup win, and just an amazing set. I think everyone would agree that this is one of the most iconic vintage sets in soccer, being the first Panini World Cup set. And this one was actually the red and black back, which, to be honest, I wasn't too familiar with what the colouring meant for a long time until recently. But I believe this is the international version. And yeah, Bobby Moore, like just an iconic player. Like I play football myself, also play centre back, so took a lot of inspiration from his quality. Obviously, I wasn't around when he played, but I've seen YouTube videos. I watched the full game of the England-Brazil game in 1970, an iconic game, and yeah, just an amazing defender with just I take a lot of pointers from his game and try and do my best to emulate them myself. Great passing, composure on the ball, great reading of the play as well. But yeah, just an amazing player. And I've got a few other. Oh, you mentioned about Bobby Moore being the best England player of all time. I'm not entirely sure. I think he's one of the best. I would say that Bobby Charlton's right up there.
I will. Yeah, I'll go into why I think Bobby Moore in a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for me, Bobby Moore, and Bobby Charlton obviously is a Manchester United fan. Bobby Charlton is someone that I also hold in incredibly high regard. But Bobby Moore is, again, such an interesting character study as a person, because he has been lionized as this messianic captain, and that's completely right. His bronze statue sits outside Wembley, just guarding it now. But Bobby Moore also had so many challenges during his career as well. He had testicular cancer when he was a very young player at West Ham, and he was also someone he was also a very interesting player because he was quite private despite being so well known. But he was sort of his testicular cancer was a big challenge for him because he had cobalt radiotherapy, and he had sort of these black X's put on his torso in places, and he would go to great lengths to cover that up, the treatment he was having, whilst he was also playing at West Ham. I think it was said that it was a hernia at the time and things. And for him to come back and then captain England to that World Cup win and be regarded by Pele as, I think he said, the greatest defender of all time, the greatest defender he's faced, coupled with as well Bobby Moore in that England-Brazil match. There was also that the Jairzinho tackle, the iconic image with Pele. But before that, and in the lead up to that World Cup, there was the debacle with the diamond bracelet in Bogota. And Bobby Moore was accused of stealing a bracelet, which I wasn't there, but I don't think he did from everything that's been said. And this man was the rest of the team left Bogota and flew to Mexico for the World Cup. This man was in a prison cell while the rest of the team was preparing for the World Cup. He's the captain, and then they moved him out of the prison cell and he was under house arrest where he was not training. And then to go to that World Cup and perform to the level he did, with the mental distractions, with the physical problems, for me, that is why Bobby Moore, with David Beckham, I haven't mentioned Bobby Moore yet on the channel, I will be. Bobby Moore is my favourite player to collect. And he is just an absolute inspiration, I think. And he's just an incredible player, an incredible human who had his faults. He had his flaws. And then, again, even with his passing as well, which was really quite young, and again, quite a tragic story about the cancer being missed for a while, actually. And it wasn't that he was a stoic man who was getting on with it, doing that sort of thing that our males don't prioritize their health. No, Bobby Moore, he was going to doctors saying, my tummy's not right, my tummy's not right. And it was actually put down to irritable bowel syndrome. And then he ended up passing away of colon cancer. But it was also a very interesting story with Bobby Moore because the FA weren't treating him particularly well after retirement. And I find him just a fascinating character. So and for me, he is our greatest player. He's just a hero. He's one of my heroes.
There's the team. It was actually a really nice grade, 7.5 SGC. Again from the same set, Mexico 70.
Such a nice one. The England portrait with the Jules Rimet, and just like you say, and Bobby just can get me going, get me emotional in the same way that David Beckham can. It's a very visceral feeling and response to Bobby Moore. And
but that Brazil game, there's a Pele there. But I actually remember I was way too late in getting one of these Pelés because they skyrocketed in value, and I had to pay a bit of a premium to get one. But they were probably selling for next to nothing when I originally got this Bobby Moore back in about 2007. But again, iconic card here for Pele. One of the best
Yeah.
sets to collect Mexico 70. I think probably my holy grail is to get the full album of Mexico 70. I do have like a reprint, but yeah, the full album would be pretty expensive, but a really cool collection to have.
You and me both, actually, Damien, because that is, again, is something which I haven't actioned yet, because like you say,
Yeah.
reasonably expensive, but it would be amazing for me to have all the sort of Panini World Cup albums. It's just complete, not
Yeah.
loose with Mexico 70 would get silly. But
Yeah.
but it's, I think, yeah, having the complete album would be really amazing, and I think it is an iconic set. The imagery is so amazing, and it's just it's like the founding father in many ways of a lot of the, you know, a lot of the collecting things. I know Panini were making football cards before, and stickers, but Mexico 70 is so nice. And I haven't got a reprint one, but seeing the scans of them obviously going through, and it's just,
yeah, you can get pretty nice copies, but yeah, definitely an original would be amazing to have. I do have all the World Cup sticker albums from 1982 to now, so I'm still missing Munich 74, Argentina 78. So that would be nice to get as well. Obviously not as expensive, but yeah.
Yeah, 74 as well, it appears to be reasonably tricky, and and like you say, but it's one of those things which I am just biding my time a bit. I do think that there will be opportunities, because they were reasonably highly produced and things. But yeah, 74 is another really nice set, and 78, I like 78 as well. Actually, it's it's just Mexico 70s.
And then even with like Panini stickers, just in general, obviously recently, I've been collecting the Euro sticker albums as well. But it's a shame to see Topps taking the license for the Euro sticker albums and like not having 4 big nations licensed. It's just I won't be collecting that set, I don't think.
Yeah, I try not to bash designs or things, but I have seen some of the things, and some people, actually, I was speaking to one of my friends, he quite liked it. I'm not a huge fan of some of those arts and stuff on those things, the Euro 2024. I also won't be rushing with my pocket money to go and get that set. But Mexico 70, absolutely, it's just a gargantuan set within the space, and it looks so, the images look so good as well, and the Pele is iconic. I don't own a Pele. I was well after 2007, so I wouldn't. Yeah, but it's just they're so nice. It just.
Yeah. I love the history type cards to them as well. Like you can get 1966 top scorer Eusebio. There's Puskas one as well. Garincha. Like it's just an amazing set. So many legends that you could collect from it.
Yeah, and it's just got, like, I know that there is I think it's had a lot of organic collectability for quite a long time, because I know things like the Juanito mascot is really difficult, and the flag cards are apparently like really, really tricky to sort of get. Like they're basically impossible. So yeah, just a fantastic set. And yeah, it's so we're sticking quite English, aren't we? Because when we're going back to someone we discussed earlier as well, with another card of his a bit further on. So shall we have a chat about your next item?
Okay, so sort of fast forwarding to about 2013. I suppose prior to this point, Topps had been a bit lackluster in regards to their Premier League sets. There was a bit of a wave in terms of Match Attack being really popular in England from about 2008 up until maybe about 2012, where Topps really just prioritized those game cards, which are really popular. But at the time, I just remember thinking, like, I wanted more. I wanted an official trading card release. And that's when, in 2013, Topps America released the first sort of soccer hobby product. This was 1 year prior to World Cup 2014 Prism, Topps Premier Gold 2013, and my item here is a Frank Lampard autograph from that collection.
Such a nice card.
Really nice looking card there. And this was just an amazing product that came out by Topps America, littered with some really good name autographs. Gerrard as well, Ronaldo, even Pele, which is outrageous considering he's got nothing to do with the Premier League. I think that was just an American sort of appeal to the set.
Yeah, I was about to say. I'm glad you said it and not me.
Yeah, but, I mean, pulling a Pele autograph, I don't believe he had an autograph card before then. So, I mean, at the time, the appeal to get some of those cards, and yeah, this amazing set. I was tossing up between picking this one and picking up and choosing the Top Stadium Club 2016 card. It's actually the same photo. This one's only limited to 25, so it's much harder to come by. Whereas these, you can pick these up on eBay. This is obviously just the base copy. But with this set, Topps Premier Gold 2013, it's the first Premier League set to have parallel cards. So you can get this in an gold out of 50, an orange out of 25. I presume there would be one of ones as well.
So
but
there's a platinum one of one, and there's a one of one printing plate as well, I think. In that set.
And in the set you can get parallels as well. Yeah. So I really love the green out of 99 parallels here. So that's one of Lampard. I'm actually collecting some of the other sort of big names from that set as well. But yeah, really good set. It gets a bit sort of, we talk a lot about World Cup 2014 Prism, Topps Chrome, Champions League 2017, but it's a bit of a sleeper set in terms of no one really talks about this one being a pretty influential set in sort of the modern soccer card space.
Yeah, I really like Premier Gold 2013-14 as well. It's weird. I don't actually own it because I've always, but I really like the Bale auto because of the white on white. I just think looks so good. And I've always debated, but I actually, with Gareth Bale, I would always sort the sort of Premier League sticker. They did some on-card stickers, on-sticker autos for like 2019, for 2009 Premier. So I always wanted that as a Gareth Bale auto, but they're so good looking. And like you say, it doesn't seem to get much love. I mean, maybe this is the beginning. Maybe someone is going to catch fire, and the pump can start now.
Yeah.
But it's a great set, and it also, as well, even though on a Manchester United level, it was a pretty disastrous season, but it was such a good Premier League season as well that season. Like, just the slip, Mourinho coming back, Cristiano, which is it's just so good that sort of that season. Yaya Toure and the birthday cake. It's such a good Premier League season, and I love it when just amazing, and also actually as well. And even though Bazaar has paused, but is coming back more, 2013-14, I'm going to say, actually, Yaya and Suarez, I think those two individual seasons are up there as two of the best individual Premier League performances of all time for a season. Yaya and Luis Suarez.
He scored like 20 plus goals, Yaya?
Yeah. He scored like 20, and he was just an absolute monster with everything. He was everywhere, finishing, banging them in, tackling. just game awareness as well, to be able to just receive the ball wherever on the pitch, and and obviously Suarez just was, after he came back from his little biting suspension, was just absolutely insane. And I love sets that sort of have that contemporaneous meaning as well. Which is just a really, really great set. And I love those auto cards as well. I think the Manchester United one's Ashley Young, who I'm trying to get, but
there's Young, there's Fellaini, not quite as good. Apart from obviously Ronaldo's a good one, but
Ronaldo's a good one. Fellaini, mixed feelings on Fellaini. I actually really love Ashley Young. I love Ashley Young, but it's always difficult because, well, I love Ashley Young, and one should say, well, I should, but I always struggle, like, mentally, really, really paying quite a lot for like an Ashley Young orange card. So like, I'll just wait. And this is the thing with Young, and as you mentioned, Topps Chrome 2017. I'd love like a really nice Ashley Young card from 2017 Chrome, but I think there are a lot of set collectors now trying to do the gold and even orange. So I'm not not going for the big bucks for an Ashley Young card. I'm happy with just a refractor.
And then even with this set, there's only like 3 different parallels. So you've got the green out of 99 for the base, and then it goes all the way down to the orange out of 11. And I've actually got one here, David Silva.
Oh yeah.
So that's 10 of 11, and then it goes to the 1 of 1. So it's very rare to see nowadays, so limited amount of parallels. But the Topps Chrome 2017 is pretty amazing. But in terms of the checklist, like some of these names from this set, like Lampard being an example, like legendary players that actually aren't in Topps Chrome 2017. So it's a pretty good sort of alternative set to look at certain players. Like Yaya Toure is another example. He's not in 2017 Chrome. Lots of legends in this set for sure.
Yeah, and like Rooney's obviously not in 2017 Chrome. That Rooney leaving Manchester United before the season of 2017 Chrome is one of my. This is all the hypothetical, and this is all almost like the hypothetical episode. But a Rooney red in 2017, I would just.
That'd be so good.
And as well with 2017, Ibrahimovic had his ACL injury, so he re-signed for Manchester United a bit after. But then obviously when they did the checklist, Ibrahimovic wasn't in it. So if they they would have included Ibrahimovic, I'm sure, if he'd actually been under Man United the whole time. And it's just that a Rooney would have just been so good, but never mind.
Do you think he left too soon, Rooney? Like, he wouldn't have been that old, really, at that point. Do you think? Was he like early 30s?
Yeah, he was 30. He's October 85, and he left in the sort of summer of 2017. So he was 31. In terms of chronological age, one could make that argument. But in terms of, this is going to sound really nasty, in terms of his performances on the pitch, which were absolutely pretty poor. It was difficult because when Van Gaal came, he made him the captain, and he sort of put Van Persie onto the sidelines a bit. And Van Persie's performance was also decreasing quite a lot as well. With Rooney, Van Gaal tried to make him again the focal striker, but he'd lost it. And now whether that was a conditioning problem, whether that was just having played too much football from the age of 16, possibly.
Yeah.
But the manifestation of his performances were really not very good. And Van Gaal was like bringing him back. So then he was a central midfielder, which is actually where he finished his career at Derby. But it was difficult. And then that 2016-17 season, he started off in the first 11 under Mourinho. And he had I remember this Watford away game. We lost 3-1. I love Rooney. I love him. He had the most shocking performance. It was so wretched that Mourinho. I think there'd been a clamour a little bit amongst Manchester United fans, who myself I was really quite vehemently saying Rooney needs to be dropped, even though I felt bad.
Yeah.
But then, we started playing a bit better when Rooney was dropped. It was really great that he had the goal against Stoke, so he broke the record in that season.
Okay.
But,
So who was the replacement striker in that season then?
So Ibrahimovic was playing striker. So it was sort of Rooney and Ibrahimovic
was
were playing.
On the scene then?
Martial was on the scene. Martial had his really promising first season under Van Gaal. And then Mourinho did his thing where he doesn't like anyone under the age of 28 to an extent, which I think stymied Martial's career quite a lot. But Rooney. But then when Rooney did leave, even though I've been like for the whole year, like Rooney needs to leave. When he did leave, when I saw him holding up that Everton shirt and playing for Everton, I was really, really devastated. It felt horrible. It's like, oh, Wazza. So it was horrible actually seeing him play for Everton again, even though it was nice for him to go back to Everton. And just a great set. And the Rooney card is something which I actually don't have. But now in my mind I'm thinking I'm going to go and get the Rooney card. But a great set. And Lampard as well is another fantastic Premier League player. Why Lampard? Because obviously you also have your whole, because Retro Soccer Cards is your main account, but then you have your whole side account as well. So why Lampard? What is it about Frank?
Well, I've actually got a bit of a soft spot towards West Ham. So in the early 2000s, I kind of enjoyed watching them. They obviously had an amazing sort of crop of youngsters coming through the academy, Lampard being one of them. So I sort of took an interest to Lampard when he was at West Ham, and then he obviously moved to Chelsea in the 2001-02 season. And there's something about him. Like, obviously, when he's scoring goals from midfield, arriving in the box late, it's pretty hard not to like him. And in that sort of early beginnings of Chelsea with Roman, he was one of the main leaders and mainstays in that side. So, I don't know. I think just absolute goal scoring machine. It's hard not to like him as a Chelsea fan for sure.
He really mastered the deflection as well. Sorry. No, I love Frank Lampard as well. I really love him. I actually really like him as a person. Also, I think he's I think early in his career, I think he was. I don't want to bring up bad stuff. I think he was involved a bit with the sort of some Iron Napa stuff and things like that. But he speaks really intelligently, actually. And again, much like the Bobby Moore distraction type things that are so distracting, I remember really starting to, I guess out of compassion to an extent, but Lampard lost his mother in 2008, I think it was. And he was still, his performances were still, and I'm not saying they had to be, but to have the strength and to almost do it for your mum after she's passed away really young. I think she died of pneumonia, really young. I just really developed such a almost like awe of these people, because I could not do that. I could just perform and propel Chelsea to the Champions League final, which they lost. I have to get that one in. But and also as well with Lampard, the other thing when I really actually had a lot of respect for him, and I don't know if this made it in Australia, was basically someone who I'm not even going to say his name because I don't even like him and I'm not going to give him any time. was we have these like rubbishy talk radio shows, and
Yeah.
it was a lot around the time that Lampard was unfortunately going through a split with his partner Ellen Rivas, and this host was really piling on him, saying, "Oh, you know."
Oh, yeah.
Do you, and then actually,
I've seen the clip,
Lampard's sister was listening to that. She's like, "Wait, no, that's not fair." And then
Yeah.
Frank Lampard, he actually rung them, and
Yeah.
it's just an amazing. It's an amazing. I listened to it again very recently, but I developed such respect for him, because obviously at first it's like, oh, when it's reported, oh, Lampard's, you know, just like going off on one, he doesn't like the truth. But actually, if you listen to the recording, which I listened to, I think when 2010, whenever it first came out, I just had such a respect for him, because he's like, no, you know what? I'm not taking this fool talk things that aren't incorrect, that aren't correct. And I really respected him for going to the head of the snake and being like, you know, no, that's not fair that you're saying that. And I really admired that. And he's so eloquent as well. It's often said here that he got an A star in Latin at GCSE and things like that. it's these Lampard facts are always sort of put around. It's just another amazing Premier League legend, Frank Lampard. And
I hope it works out for him in terms of his management as well. Like, he's had some tough sort of, that Everton role was tough, and obviously getting to Chelsea the second time round, like, our squad was just a shambles, really. So hopefully he gets a decent job next and can, you know, make something of it.
And it's a really good point as well, Damian, because it's with these sorts of players, when they go and become manager, then people I think to an extent maybe I do it. I'm with people like, say, who I didn't see play, like Souness and people like that. I'm like, oh, you know all that. But it would be such a shame for Lampard to be remembered, or at least it be a large part of the Lampard mentality, is his managerial career, which hasn't even been that bad, to be honest. Like you say, there were huge extenuating circumstances with, I'm not being rude, taking the Chelsea manager job at any point, I think is, like the Man United one, I think is a really difficult job. Everton as well is Everton, just tricky. And but he did well at Derby before that.
I mean, he did well the first spell at Chelsea. He did really well, considering the transfer, embargo, selling Hazard, and then bringing through all those youngsters, Mount, Abraham. So, like, that first season was amazing, really. So he's definitely got potential as a manager, I'd say, but just needs to get a decent job next time around, maybe in the Championship.
No, exactly, and I guess, I don't know, it's maybe a bit tricky as well when you've managed in the Champions League and you've managed Chelsea, then maybe to go to the Championship. I don't know, maybe it must be difficult mentally to do that.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm really hopeful for him, because, I mean, it's rough, like, having a really cool Lampard collection and wanting him to do well. Then, like, I mean, like, some of the tough jobs he's taken, it's sad to see, but we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, hopefully he doesn't end up in Saudi or something, in the Saudi sort of. You know,
Rooney's in the same boat as well. Like, that bit of a shambles at Birmingham recently. So
it's interesting. They have got a similar sort of situation going on, where they take because Rooney, the Derby, he did quite well at Derby, and then the Birmingham job just went horrendously, actually, pretty just horrendous. Because he took when he took them over, they were on the cusp of the playoff places, and they were actually doing quite well. They were doing quite well, and then he just had a disastrous spell, actually. Poor Wazza. But I hope it works out for both of them. And it's not just Chelsea, is it, that you mentioned a little bit earlier, but it's not just Chelsea that hold a spot in Damian's heart. There's another team as well, especially.
Yeah, so my dad's from Huddersfield, and they got it's been a while now since they were in the Premier League, but they got promoted in the 2017-18 season. And sort of prior to then, I wasn't really too bothered about collecting parallels as such, numbered cards, but I knew Huddersfield wouldn't be in the Premier League long, so I had to go all out and get as many cards as possible, all the numbered variations, and so that's what I did. In only a 2-season spell in the Premier League, there was not too many sets to collect really in 2017 and 2018, unlike now where there's like 50 sets a year. Back then there was only a few sets over the course of those 2 seasons. And I have a complete rainbow here, but the number 1 card that I would take would be a 1-of-1 Elias Kachunga Huddersfield card. This being from the Topps Platinum set, Premier League 2017-18. 1-of-1. Really nice cracked ice sort of design to that one.
Yeah, I think it's like the Foilfractor, is it's the name, is it? Something like
that
they've given it, yeah.
And they've got the other parallels, so there was the green out of 100, purple out of 50, orange out of 25, and then the red out of 10. So yeah, just what's that, a handful of different parallels, and the 1-of-1 being Kachunga, who was pretty instrumental in us getting promoted in the first place. I believe he was top scorer. It's a German player that we signed from Paderborn. And yeah, my first 1-of-1 card, it was this one. So yeah, really happy to own this. Actually, no, this wasn't the first one. I actually have another card, another Huddersfield 1-of-1 from this collection. So I've got 2, but picked this up from Germany. So yeah, pretty amazing card. I've got a good host of other parallels from Huddersfield. Obviously, Aaron Moy being an Australian. Yeah. I've got quite a few cards of his. He's arguably probably one of our best players in a long time. But yeah, chose that Kachunga because it's the 1-of-1 and pretty amazing set. I know we mentioned before about sort of the design, and yeah, I just think it's a really cool set that yeah, one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, I really love Platinum. I think I was saying like Platinum is up, and again, it's a set that you don't see people speak about too much now. Whether that is because people don't know of its existence is another possibility. But because there's the Premier Gold 2017-18 as well, which I don't like quite as much. It's all right. I just find it a bit underwhelming, actually.
It's actually a shame because that is the last Premier Gold set, and it really didn't hit very well. There wasn't many numbered cards. It was mainly sort of unnumbered parallels. The auto checklist wasn't very good. The Platinum set was definitely better to collect for sure.
Yeah, and the Platinum cards, they feel they're interesting cards because they actually like taper a little bit at the bottom. They're quite interesting shape, which I think it's weird to explain, but they almost like taper a little bit, which is they're quite interesting. And like you say, the base set has the parallels, which are really cool. And maybe if like Dominic Calvert-Lewin had fulfilled his potential, then maybe Platinum would be really known about now. That's the thing, because it's like we said with the Rooney Premier Gold 2003. Say that's DCL's rookie card in that set, or one of them. I think he's got Premier Gold as well. And if he had gone on, and it's a shame with DCL, and this is actually the thing in my mind. I had no plan to speak about DCL, but it's just come out. If he had, then Platinum may be more well known about, but I love the inserts as well. I love the icon. I think the icon inserts are some of the best looking Premier League cards, and I love the fact that it's Van Dijk's, I think, his only Liverpool card from that season in a hobby release, because Premier Gold he's still in Southampton. So,
you might be right then.
Yeah, he's not. He maybe has like a match attacks or something, but he's got in Premier Gold. He's in Southampton, and I think he's got like a terrace hero or something. But it's his only Liverpool card from that season, and now that I really like. So when a purple came up with the icon about 2 years ago, I was like, I'm going to gobble that up because it's such a nice looking card as well.
There's actually the icons, Tammy Abraham's rookie cards in that set as well.
This is the thing as well with the what we were saying off air a bit about, because I'm trying to collect the icon, and maybe I shouldn't say I was trying to collect the icons purple, but the ones I've got left are Abraham and Richarlison, excuse me, because they're the rookie. It's people then like, oh, it's the Tammy Abraham rookie, and now Tammy Abraham is a really good player. I think he's a bit underrated, but it's like he's not like a hobby player that I would go and spend a lot of money on a Tammy Abraham rookie card for. And I know it's like, oh, there's not many Tammy Abraham rookie cards. It's a low numbered purple. There's barely any, but it's at the same time, it's like, but I don't want it for that. I want it for the icon set. But yeah, I think the only thing with Platinum is I think some of the patch, I think actually I could say that for pretty much all the Premier Gold patches, to be fair. They're just a bit uninspired. I think it's like a little circle and just like, it just looks a bit, I don't know.
And even the auto checklist isn't very good. And that's kind of the failure of a lot of the later top sets, is that they just did not compare at all to, when Panini took over the license. First release Prism Premier League was just stacked with so many legend autos. Like, if you look at the Platinum auto checklist, there's maybe a few good names. I don't know, Cantona has a nice auto from that set.
He does, yeah.
But apart from him, like, it's not really worth buying boxes from that product, unfortunately. Because if it was, I'd certainly get a lot of them and do like breaks or whatever. But you don't see your money's worth with some of the autos in that set.
Yeah, it's true, because I have been tempted to buy a Platinum and a box. I don't own a Platinum box, and sort of just open it just as a video, because it's like not that expensive, and it'll be really cool to like imagine pulling like the Van Dijk Foilfractor icon on there. That would be amazing. Like, I would argue that's Van Dijk's best card in existence. That would be my argument personally. But
even Salah's got a new signing card.
He does.
That's his first Liverpool card.
He does.
That's another good card.
Yeah, he does have a new signing, and I love the purple new signing. I've got the base new. They're not actually that easy because I think they're like reasonably, not like, you know what I mean, not short printed, but the new signings, they're not like really, really common. But I think with the Salah in my mind as well, even though Platinum probably has a bit less production, because Salah's obviously got the Chrome in 2017. So in my mind, I'm like, the Salah, I would go to the Chrome, and I think the red Chrome. I think I've seen Soccer Card Corner. I think has a red Chrome at PSA 10, and it's just such a nice looking Salah card. It's so good looking. But and to be fair, if Van Dijk had been in Chrome, I probably would have said, even though I love Platinum, but the fact he doesn't have that, and he's got the icon of Liverpool, and he's not in Premier Gold, then I'm like, wow, that to me is amazing. Van Dijk.
And with the inserts, there's only one, apart from the 1 of 1, there's only one numbered card, and that's the out of 50 purple. So
exactly. And they just look so good. Like I love the Wazza icon, because he's back at Everton as well. Like, and it's just nice as a sort of full circle card. And even his pose is almost, I'm trying to remember, but even his pose is almost a bit similar to the Premier Gold 2003. So it's like a full circle card of him, obviously looking a bit more aged than his 16-year-old self. But I love Platinum. I just love the Premier. I love the Premier League. That's what
I kind of. I wish nowadays, like, I get a bit sick of the Panini Premier League sets now. I just feel like they're a bit copy and paste from previous seasons. Whereas, like, this Topps Premier Platinum is such a unique set. There's nothing else that It looks like it, whereas now it's, there's not a hell of a lot of effort that goes in towards making sets nowadays.
I agree, because with platinum, you can see the evolution as well of some sets, because platinum reminds me a little bit of Premier Club 2014-15, and I don't know why. I think it's just a slight tapering of the cards, but some of the which has got the Kane rookie in, of which I've seen you post your PSA 10 before as well. But it's like it's a it reminds me a little bit of Premier Club, but you can see the evolution to then get the foil, to get more of the foil effects and things going on the parallels. And like you say, now I don't feel there's much evolution. In fact, I feel there's just dilution on the sets. Just let's print, blues out of 340, which is nice because then I can get my Vardy blue color match, which I like. But in terms of like an evolution type thing, it's not great, and I think it's just
And with Panini Prism Premier League, I mean, that first season 2019-20, that was huge. Like, that was an amazing set. I think everyone loved the fact that Panini took over the license, but there just hasn't been a progression, I don't think, recently to make it better. But
it's sad, but maybe they'll pull it. Maybe they'll pull it back. Who knows? I say that maybe. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, we're gonna pull back 20 years now from the present day. Well, 21 years now is the present day, and we're going to go to one of your power cards. Is that fair to say, or what do you?
I mean, I work on a pretty tight budget, really, but this one is a pretty big one because it's well, first of all, I bought a number of packs. I think it was about 20 packs of this collection, Topps Premier Gold 2003-04. These sealed packs are really hard to find. I managed to get these from Australia about a year or so ago, and this set for the 2003-04 season features a young Ronaldo, so his second year card, his first, obviously his rookie, then he signs for Man United in that season. And I opened 20 of these packs hoping to get a Ronaldo, and the plan was to save one of these sealed packs, and because I do like to keep a bit of a sealed pack collection. But I'd opened 19 packs, no Ronaldo, so I thought, bugger it, I'm opening the very last pack, which, as you can see, this is not a sealed one. I've just made out it's sealed. Open that last pack, and to my delight, there was the Ronaldo in it, and it was so good that it actually gem mint 10'd.
Wow.
So
just
was thrilled with that.
It's
beautiful card.
Yeah, it's such a such a great card. It's obviously the uncorrected error, isn't it? Which PSA now labeled correctly.
Yeah, so it's spelled with a H in Cristiano, but for me, he does have quite a few sort of second-year cards at Man United. He's got he's got three, actually maybe even more, 3 Upper Deck cards from the Man United team set. And then he's also got the Mega Cracks as well. But for me, I always sort of gravitate towards league licensed cards over anything else. So that's why I really do like his only Premier League card for that season. He does have the Shootout card, which is another Premier League licensed card. But definitely for me, it's this one here. That it's got really good eye appeal as well. Nice image of Ronaldo, cool design.
I agree. It's my favourite second year Ronaldo card. I do like the stickers in 03, in 03-04. The green foil and the facsimile auto. I do like both of those. But of the cards, the upper deck you mentioned, the sort of upper deck base ones, I do like the. I mean, I was way out of my budget, but I do like the manuscripts auto cards, the sticker auto.
Okay.
They are incredible cards, the red and black
Yeah.
parallel. But it's almost like that youthful appearance of Ronaldo with this one, which I really like. The noodle. A 10 is amazing because they whiten so easily. Premier Gold 2004.
Yeah.
Because they've got like that great. Yeah, I've sent a few. It's weird because I've actually, the two I've sent have got 9s, which are actually quite good grades for them. But they look perfect.
The Ronaldo?
Yeah, of the Ronaldos.
They got 2 9s.
Yeah, I've let one go now, but I've still got 1 9. But it's just, it's such a good card because it's almost like that. Maybe I've got a fetish for the oversized shirt or something. I don't know, but it's like they haven't quite filled their shirt yet, and he's got his noodle hair. It's that Bolton sort of look to him, and he's just, it's just such a great Ronaldo card, and it's also a really good set as well. It's
amazing set.
It's a great set. It's I love the fact that it's the Arsenal Invincibles year as well. I love that. And it perfect into that. And there's the green, because there's like a green and a bronze, and then some of them have the silver and red, don't they? Is that right? Something with the inserts.
So this is a PFA Player of the Year Henri. This is actually the blue parallel, which is not as common as the bronze is actually the more common version. And then you've got blue. And then there's also the gold, I think gold and red, which come in certain cards. I'm not sure what this one may come in. But obviously an iconic year for Arsenal being in Invincibles. But I love the inserts from this set. They've got the sort of a selection of 11 of the PFA Team of the Year, and then some top scorer cards, and then the Player of the Year. I think David Moyes has got a Manager of the Year card as well.
He does.
Yeah.
So
cool set.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I think that was David Moyes had a good season with Everton, but what about my boy? Wrestled it back from Arsenal in 2000-2003. So I think Ferguson should have been Manager of the Year that season, but maybe I'm biased. But I'm not the best person to ask. I try and be as objective as possible, but and also again, because it does remind me a bit, obviously, of 2003. But it's that, even though if you pushed me, I probably do prefer 2003, if I'm completely honest. But it's the evolution thing, which is almost what I was saying earlier, in the sense of they do all the best things they've done from 2003 with the manager of the year type thing, on the milestone type thing, but then they then put the like foils in and the red foils and stuff, and it's just it's so good. And as well, the auto checklist as well on 2004 is just
it's only small. There's only like 6 names, I think.
But they've got Andy Cole.
Andy Cole. I own a Juninho. Do you have a Juninho?
I do have a Juninho. I do have a Juninho. I didn't get it out. I do have a Juninho. I got it on a Facebook group for not very much, actually. He posted it maybe in November, and it's obviously one with my Middlesbrough 96-97 affinity and a borderline obsession. It's one that I really wanted because those contemporaneous on-card autos, which I feel obviously you really love as well. It's just so good. And the Juninho one is one that I also have. 2004 is Premier Gold. I love 2003 and 2004. They're just they're such great sets. They're two of my favorite sets, actually. They're just so, because they're so like expansive, but they're also quite minimal in their way. They're attainable. It's sort of, there's not all this emergent brilliance stuff that
Yeah,
they do now, and it's just like
yeah,
it's turning into a bit of a prison bash. But it's just so manageable, and the inserts are so good looking, like you say.
yeah,
And just
yeah, definitely.
I love Premier Gold 2004, and the PSA 10 card is amazing. It's an
Yeah, I
amazing
think it would
print.
have. It's probably dropped down in value recently, but I'm pretty sure I saw a pretty big sale of this a couple of years back. But I can't imagine there being too many more tens that come. I mean, I'm surprised that you got nines, and nines are really good grade for these type of cards. There's not going to be any that are going to be pack pulled and graded. So to get nines, it's really good.
Yeah, because they whiten, the grey and the red whitens quite easily, and also the the fronts, because they're almost quite bumpy, the fronts, aren't they? They're not like a perfect gloss, and they are quite prone
Yeah,
to surface problems. But
yeah,
it's just such a great set. It's got the second year Rooney, it's got the, like we said, the Arsenal Invincible sort of, you know, Henri Vieira in the base, and just
yeah.
really great cards. I love
I think I
them.
did I think I did like a tier list on my channel, and I think I rated
Yes.
both the 2003 and 2004 like probably top tier. So
It's
yeah,
a it's a great video, yeah. And a few people have praised your video quite a lot. And I was Damian's YouTube channel is called Retro Soccer Cards. I would advise you check it out because it's just food for the soul with Premier League.
yeah.
It's just very
I think
feel
I'm up
good.
to like 2016. So or at this moment at 2016. So I've gone through pretty much all the Premier League sets from '92 to 2019. I'll probably stop. I'm just going to focus on the tops Premier League sets.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Before you go into, because I said it's feel good, and then it might turn a bit dark if we go into your
yeah,
prism opinions.
that's true.
It was a really positive channel, but then it just got really dark, and I don't know what happened. It's just like, just you
But
trying to
I've
talk
actually got
positively about an emergent
yeah,
or something. It's just like
yeah. But I've actually got a few more Ronaldo's here. So from
yeah,
the season after, they're the Topps Premier Stars.
yeah.
This is only a PSA 7, but this is actually the Japanese version. It's got the gold lettering on the side. So these are a bit harder to come by than the normal one. So that's
I
his sort of second year at Man United card.
if because this is the thing, and this sort of I think I have a feeling we tend to collect in quite similar ways. And for me, I would love the Drogba Japan. I would love
Oh,
the
I got
Drogba.
that
Have you
recently.
got it?
Yeah, I got it. Where is it? It's somewhere. I think it was on my mail day video.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, a recent mail day video I did
It's
had it on there. Yeah,
just
it was
because
actually
it's
his first
sort
season at Chelsea.
exactly. It's just that sort of like organic. Not everything's about scarcity and lack of supply, but in a collector's brain, that is something you naturally tend to. You don't even want to sometimes, but you just do, and
Yeah,
it's just such a great card. I love the base Drogba card actually from that year. I do. I like it, and I really like the Rooney as well, which I think you
yeah,
have as well.
I got
Do
the
you have?
Rooney.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's that sort of like work experience suit vibe. Um,
yeah,
it's just him. On the please sign Rooney day when that little boy put his like please sign Rooney shirt up, the like sign up. You maybe have seen it. I'll on the edit. I'll bring it up, and it's
oh,
just
yeah,
him in his suit having signed for Man United before he goes and does great things. It's just
yeah,
really really nice set. And the Ronaldo run. Do you have any other of the Ronaldo cards there at all? Like, or
yeah.
by any
So I've
chance?
got to the 2004
Yeah.
season, and then the 2005 season again.
Premier Stars, is that? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Premier
Merlin
Stars. Yeah,
Premier Stars, and
yeah.
then the season after that, there was a couple of Premier League sets. We've got the iCards. So these
Yeah,
are the acetate cards. It's kind of cool, different. That's been an SGC 9, and then probably the more premium set was again the Premier Gold from 2006.
yeah.
They're all,
another actually, another of my favourite sets. I think the rainbow foils, like the Tevez card, is just, I think, one of the best looking Premier League cards. The Tevez card for me. Really great set.
This is the last Premier Gold set until 2013. So yeah.
Yeah, which is so interesting and so weird, because they were improving the set in some ways, and to then just, I guess maybe I didn't know about that then, I guess, but it's just it's a shame that they didn't keep making them, and then they brought in authentics and things, didn't they, which were not even were the packs, but pre-made packs and things.
Yeah. In 2011 and 2012, they had those sort of box sets. But yeah,
just a great Premier League collection you've got. I just love it. I just love your collection. I love the way you approach collecting. And we spoke about contemporaneous on-card autos being not necessarily like the thing we prioritize above all, but one of the things that we really love. And the last one is one of those. So should we have a chat about your last item?
Yes, well, it's from Topps Premier Gold 2002, and it's from this set here. So it's the first Premier League set to feature autograph cards. And I bought this autograph from, I think it was Japan, a couple years ago. And it's probably one of the best autographs to get from the collection. It's the on-card Paolo Di Canio autograph. Wow. And amazing card. I can't think of I know Michael Owen's also on the checklist. Matt Letizia would be a cool one to get.
Has he got Lipmanen as well? Is that year? Or is that
and DPO as well?
Yeah.
But for me, I think Di Canio is the best. And that's, he doesn't have any. He might actually be in the latest West Ham Topps team set. But for me, this is a holy grail for West Ham collectors, for, just Premier League fans in general. I've had quite a lot of people ask me if this one's for sale, but definitely keeping that forever. Paid a decent amount for it in Japan, but love the design of it. Obviously, the fact it's on card, but from Topps Premier Gold 2002, great set, and now you're the happy owner of one yourself.
Well, I couldn't think where I got it from. I couldn't think where I got it from. But this is it's. I always don't want to say because Damian. Otherwise, people go, he doesn't give out generous deals very often. But this one, but this one was a very generous one. I think because obviously we'd spoken about this card quite some months ago. I wasn't asking if yours was a set because you have to have a respect sometimes, and you love that card probably more than me. But then you got another, and I said, well, would you mind? Would you? Could I have it? How much do you want? And then we're not going to talk about prices, but it was a very generous deal, and I thank you so much for that, because this is just it's just such a great looking card. It's just, it brings me so much joy, and I'm sure it brings you the same joy. Just
definitely. And how's your autograph look on yours? Is the ink okay? Is it smudged at all? Or?
It's really good. It's not smudged at all, actually, that I can see. It's just like not streaky. It's really, really good. And I probably won't. I mean, because this is one of those where I'm not just saying it, obviously. Well, a lot of myself. This won't be ever. So then it's one of these where it's like, well, would I actually grade it, or I probably would just put it in a one touch, and I'm good actually. Like that's just, I'm fine with that in a one touch. I don't need someone to tell me a grade on something that I have no intention of ever moving on. And like you say, with Paolo, is he a player that because you mentioned your West Ham love as well a little bit in the early 2000s. Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Di Canio was the talisman in that era for sure. But yeah, I actually have this Dr. Martin shirt, pretty iconic sort of shirt, West Ham. But yeah, I was sort of enthralled by his controversy as well. His outrageous goals. I mean, that goal against Wimbledon, the scissor kick, was so impressive. But yeah, really, I think he divides opinion at times, but yeah, can't help but
he does divide opinion. He's a controversial fellow, and yeah, I mean, people want to. This isn't a My Sports Compendium advert, but if people want to check out my Canio video, they'll know where I sit on the do I love or do I hate Canio thing, and you can probably guess what the answer is. The Wimbledon goal he scored, and I say it in that video, I think is the best Premier League goal. I think it's incredible, because even if you watch it a few times, when you watch it, you almost don't realize how good it is. It's only when you watch it again and how few people could execute doing something like that, like a scissor like that.
From that angle,
it's just an incredible goal, and just such a rich character, Paolo Di Canio. It's just he obviously has his whole fascism thing going on, which is difficult, because I think it's difficult because you don't want to make it sound like you're making excuses for him. But I do think that his interpretation of it is something slightly different to what people's interpretation of it is. But it's really, really challenging, because when you start going around making out like you're a fascist, then you're going to rub a few people up the wrong way.
Yeah.
But like you say, that West Ham team was incredible. I mean, Lampard, Carrick, Joe Cole, as the ones coming through. Trevor Sinclair was also an amazing player. Just
Defoe and Ferdinand as well.
I'm forgetting all these people. Defoe, Ferdinand, just incredible players. That it's amazing how they managed to get relegated in 2003. That is something which I will never understand.
I think all of them pretty much left by then, apart from Di Canio.
Defoe was still there, I think. I think Carrick was there as well, actually, if my memory serves me correct. I think Carrick left that summer. But it was just, I mean, I think Di Canio wasn't in one of his, because he obviously, he was a fiery character, Paolo, and I think he was good with Harry Redknapp, and I even left it out of the video, but with Glenn Roeder, he had some huge challenges, and then he started having his strops and things, and that whole season he was a bit difficult to manage, I think, in 2002-03, but just a magical footballer. And you said about things being a grail for a West Ham fan, and Di Canio probably not held in quite the esteem that Bobby Moore is, but Billy Bonds, Trevor Brooking, Jeff Hurst, he's held up there with them, actually, in that sort of pantheon of West Ham greats. And I don't know have you read his autobiography by any chance, Damian?
I have, a long time ago, but I have,
Such an interesting guy, just like, and you can imagine it, because obviously there's sometimes some exaggeration and things, but just when he's saying like went into the West Ham like legends room and he saw his picture, he was on his knees breaking down in tears and things, and you can just imagine Di Canio doing that, as well as his whole like dramatic sort of that autobiography as well. I recommend anyone reading it. It's actually a really good autobiography. It was released quite a long time ago, but just stories about him like having the audition for Zorro as like an 8-year-old and winning the role, but then his parents not being able to afford the travel or something like that. And there's also a Di Canio like short film, like a 12 or 13 minute short film rumbling around on YouTube where he does a bit of acting, made in like 1998. I watch it. He gets into the role. It's about sort of two men fighting for the same woman or something like that. I watched it a while ago, but it's really, really interesting, and he's just such an interesting interesting character again. He's just such a character, Paolo Di Canio, and he just has those moments, like, you know, the push, obviously, the fair play, just things that he just is a interesting footballer, interesting man, and the item is just, again, it's just a perfect representation of it, because he looks quite regal. He's wearing the captain armband. It's a fantastic shot, and he's just the on-card auto. I just completely agree. It's just an amazing item.
Yeah, well, like in terms of like on-card autos, this is obviously the first year that they did it. But I think I've pretty much got like one autograph from each of those early Topps Premier Gold sets, those on-card autos. I know in the 2007 set, this one for this set with the Ronaldo, there's only one autograph in that collection. It's the Peter Crouch.
Yeah,
and I've managed to get that one as well.
Have you got that?
Yeah.
It's always interesting. I don't have it. I can't say I've looked for it. It's
they'll be super rare.
Yeah, just very interesting that Crouch was the only auto that they had. But there's something about those contemporaneous autos that they're not obviously on the same thick card stock as now they tend to have, but I much prefer them, because I think in a way it's sort of our youth and things of our, well, not that old, but going back to that the age at which, you know, football is a magical thing. It's like the magical age and the magical thinking and the magical belief, and seeing those people and those characters like Juninho, and more so Di Canio, actually, like represented in a it's like a time capsule for the future, that they were Topps were doing this amazing stuff that we'd get to enjoy like 20 years after the event. And I'm really grateful to them for that, actually.
Definitely.
It's just a great card. And Paolo, managerial career didn't work out. I think he's just, again, a difficult manager, probably.
He'd be very demanding, I'm sure, of his players, just like he was of himself, really.
I think that's the thing as well, and it's a really good point, because with Paolo, he, for all of his weird histrionic behaviour, he was way harder on himself than anybody else. He just was. He was very self-critical, and I think especially in the age of the modern footballer, I'm not sure they can respond quite so well often. And in 2013, he was at Sunderland, wasn't he? And I think he fell out with a lot of players because he was very critical of them. And then obviously the whole, when he was at Swindon, and I don't know if you've seen all the Wes Fotheringham sort of his criticism of Wes Fotheringham, the goalkeeper, who now plays for Sheffield United now. It's just, he's really quite nasty. Oh, it could be construed as nasty with the way he is in the press conference.
I don't think I've seen it, actually.
Go and check out his, because Fotheringham, basically, he didn't enjoy his reaction to being substituted, wasn't very good as a goalkeeper. And then Di Canio just went for him in an interview. It just like, he's just saying Wes, Wes, not Champions League, League One, Wes. And it's just really, really, it's funny, but it's also a bit mean. Paolo Di Canio is such a great character.
Was that his last job then at Swindon?
He was at Swindon, and he did well at Swindon, and then he went to Sunderland, and kept them up in 2012-13, and then the wheels started falling off the bus a little bit the next season. I think he was making demands of players and also the board, and it didn't work out for him. And I don't think he's had a job since then. I don't know. Maybe he has. I can't remember. Unless he's done some sort of, but what an amazing character. They just, we don't really have characters like that in the Premier League at the moment. I can't think of many that just like Di Canio and just Yeah. Balotelli, I'm going to bring him in again. Just these characters that are just so good, just like special, and both Italian, I guess. So maybe people can read in with any cliches they want with that. I don't know. But yeah, and that's unbelievably we've gone through all of the items, all of your items, that all 8 items, a lot of Premier League, which is obviously something which I've enjoyed and loved speaking about. But yeah, it's been such a pleasure.
All the items are kind of like different eras as well. So like a bit of vintage, some pre-modern, some modern. So that's kind of an example of where I'm at. I do like to collect really anything, to be honest. Certainly still collect a lot of the Chelsea cards from recent sets, new autographs that come out. But yeah, definitely, if I had to pick one era, it would definitely be pre-modern. Growing up in the early 2000s, that's the sweet spot for me.
Yeah, I think if you pushed me as well, I'd probably sit in there as well. That sort of 2000, pretty much 2000, well, 1995 to 2010 is what I would say, because that was such a it does coincide with Manchester United's best performances, so maybe that's the reason, and I'm actually way more immature than I think, but I do really think that was a real golden era for the Premier League as well. Just such a great time, and just so thank you so much, Damian, for coming on Desert Island Slabs. It's been another fantastic episode. I can't wait to release it when we do. Again, I would advise people to check out Damian's YouTube channel and follow him on Instagram as well, retrosoccercards. What is your Frank Lampard PC?
Just Frank Lampard cards.
Frank Lampard cards. I'd urge you to follow him on there and subscribe to his YouTube channel as well. Damian, do you have any words before we close at all, or anything you'd like to say or comments?
Yeah, I just really appreciate the invite. I mean, this is a real honor to actually be on here. I really love your content in terms of Desert Island Slabs. I mean, the videos that you did beforehand were just amazing stuff. I mean, I really enjoy any sort of soul card content, but your stuff is definitely top tier. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Great talk. Looking forward to this going live, and I'm sure we'll be heading away.
No, it should be a lot of fun. Well, thank you so much to the listeners for listening to another episode of Desert Island Slabs. Damian was an amazing guest. It was a pleasure to have him on, and I hope you enjoy it. If you're a collector and you'd like to come on Desert Island Slabs, then please message me on My Sports Compendium or the Desert Island Slabs Instagram, and I will try and get you on at some point. But if not, thank you again for listening, and goodbye.